Happy New Comic Day, everybody. Welcome officially to October and a fresh new Comic Book Day Blast. The weekly show will run down news from around the comic book industry, drop some recommendations for new books out in stores and digital storefronts, and occasionally show off some new books that I picked up. Got a lot of indie news to share with you, just in case you hadn't heard of it. The first bit of which relates to New York Comic Con, which would have taken place this week, but 2020 said, no, you're done with that. Conventions are over for this year. Some got postponed, eventually getting canceled. Some got outright canceled. And now with most conventions, publishers will offer up a set of convention exclusives, including comics like variants and version covers and just all type of other goodies. So conventions going bye-bye. What about those? Scouts Comics said, not so fast. We got you covered. They just revealed that among a bunch of other convention exclusives are available on their website, they just released the cover art and a cool little promo to carry through the weekend. So the 4 books that they released were the four titles that they released variant covers for are Phantom Star Killer, Shit Show, Grit, and It Eats What It Eats. Cool thing about all of this is the promo that they offers up you get half off up until Sunday night, about 11:59 p.m. So you get 50% off all of those. Now they all retail at $25. So 50% off all of those until Sunday night. I will link in the description below. You can go check out those and more because, again, they have a bunch of stuff on offer. So plenty of goodies out there if you're a Scout Comics fan. A lot of those titles out there are just big with the indie comics crowd, and got a bunch of stuff for collectors. Like, don't worry about conventions. Like, even though they're gone, you still got some cool stuff to collect. Some nice little fancy collectibles there. Scout Comics looking out for you. Now, It Eats What It Eats is a title that I've had on my radar. I think I'm gonna look into that a little bit and take a look at some other goodies that Scout Comics has on the website. Maybe I'm gonna grab a couple of things. We'll see. But there's that for Scout Comics. So New York Comic Con 2020 exclusive. So go check those out. And we jump over to Vault Comics because this big news just dropped earlier this week as the final order cutoff date for their new upcoming title, Giga #1, just hit 28,000 plus orders. So that's how many orders they got for this first issue, which will be dropping October 28th. It's about like these giant mechs and let's say skyscraper-sized mechs that were like used to have this big war, and then they just kind of became a habitat. And this engineer discovered one was murdered, and just kind of goes all into that. And apparently, it's been like a huge hit. A lot of people from Vault have been like passing around to reviewers, retailers, and other comics pros. And it seems to be getting a lot of buzz. People are digging it, and they've been boosting orders. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of like packs containing like just all of the variants that shops are offering up, just like a little bundle. And apparently it's just getting a lot of buzz and a lot of positive feedback. So shout out to them, and just the fact that they can, like, they're pushing all that and getting such a huge boost of orders for this debut issue. It's just a great look for them. Again, they're one of those publishers that I talk about that are small, but they're steadily growing and offering up a wide variety of comics that people are digging into. Even if you don't read them all, like, the chances are they have something that you're going to be interested in. I've read a few of all comics. I'm still reading a few. So this one is, I don't think I caught it right away. I wasn't sure what it was when I first saw it. But I'm like, oh, you know, as I kind of hear more about it, I see a lot of it on Twitter. I follow Vault Comics and some of the people that work for them. So I'm like, oh, you know what? This might be cool, and getting, again, all the positive feedback. Oh, so I might be probably going to be picking this up. Curious, want to read more about it. And so, yeah. So shout out to them for just getting, like, just that huge, like, I don't know, amount of orders for this debut issue. The other thing I will caution is we've seen that a lot with orders, like with comic series, like the debut issue, that new #1, people will dig it, but then orders will cut off. So hopefully this will be something that, if it's dope and people are digging it, that, all right, so you get this many number of orders, let's keep it high for the subsequent issues, #2, #3, especially there. That's when that fall off happens. So hopefully they can keep that consistent and just keep telling a good story and keep people engaged and just keep getting a lot of buzz, and so they can grow to be an even bigger and more popular publisher. So shout out to them and wish them all the success. So that's Giga #1, 28,000 buzz orders for debut issue out October 28th, Vault Comics. And last piece of news I want to talk about is Man Cave Studios, a Florida-based publisher, has recently announced their YA imprint, young adult, Maverick. Now, what they plan to do is beginning fall 2021, release their new graphic novels through this imprint, targeting younger readers, which is something I definitely think the industry needs. I've talked about another publisher recently who announced a young adult imprint, and that's just something great. Like I feel like a lot of the industry seems to forget, like kids were always the target demographic for comic books going way back, and then as those kids grew up, they began to make the comics, and then comics started to get more mature, started being targeted more towards adult readers, like teen and adult readers, and kids started getting left behind with just a smaller selection like geared towards them. So the YA imprint has definitely grown as the imprint, but the young adult readership has steadily grown as their comics have kind of expanded to kind of like, all right, people started to realize, hey, we need to start getting more comics back to kids and younger readers, and start helping people, like just keeping kids more engaged with comics, as well as helping young kids, develop a passion for reading, and then also just develop a passion for the comic book medium as a whole. So I just definitely want to shout out Mad Cave Studios, because I think this is a huge thing for them. It's just for the comic book industry, but for them as well. They have announced a few titles. Again, this will be kicking off in 2021. And I think this is just huge, and I hope this kind of just spreads. And again, they're a smaller publisher as well. So I'm always looking for things to boost publishers, especially small publishers who are doing good stuff for the comic book industry and for the people. So I hope this goes well, and definitely we'll be looking into these titles more and kind of see some of the covers and some of the titles that they announced so far. So just be on the lookout for Mad Cave Studios. They are the publisher of the recent title, was Stargazer #1, which just dropped a couple weeks ago. They have a bunch of other stuff there, but that was just one that I was like, that I kind of put them on the map for me. So I'm like, all right, and I do have that coming. So hopefully I get that. That'll be coming my next comic shop order next week. So yeah, just want to shout out Mad Cave Studios, and just more power to them. And I hope this move goes over well, and that they grow and get comics and graphic novels into more kids' hands, and just develop those, like that passion for reading and the comic medium. So yeah, get on there. So that's Mad Cave Studios, the young adult imprint Maverick. Be on the lookout for that, 2021. And moving into recommendations, I actually had to shorten it this week because there are so many titles out this week. You should just look at my list, because it is quite lengthy. So I'm doing a couple quick shots before I get into my main two. We're gonna start it over at Image, because we got Adventure Man #4, Decorum #5, Mark #8. 3 titles that I've been digging and I'm absolutely into. Now, Decorum definitely is a bit of a weird title. It might not be for everybody. It just does a lot. So having that in mind, so just be on the lookout for that. And then we jump over to Dark Horse, because we got Bang #4. This kind of cool ass title. I'm digging it, and I think it's actually coming to a close. It should be 4 or 5. I think it's only 5 issues, but I'm digging it. It is kind of like this weird blend, like James Bond, but then like whole other stuff, like other elements added into it. So it's a cool title if you like spy stuff and a little bit of meta in there. So definitely go link into that. Is Bang #4, Dark Horse comic. We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Now this is from Boom Studios. Here's the second issue. I've just read the first issue. I have it actually coming in the mail, and I will be doing, hopefully I can get a review up for the second issue. But it's like this cool space sci-fi story. In the first issue, it's about like these ships. They all kind of piloted by a bunch of scientists, and what they do is kind of scavenge like guys, like these massive guys. They're all in space and just have these gigantic bodies. They're just huge. I don't really understand like how to explain it, but they kind of, what happens in the first issue anyway is like all these ships. They're all like not racing, but they're just going to, they find a god, and they're kind of like claiming parts of the god. So they kind of go to like the main characters of the book. They go to like the chief, and they're like, all right, they call for a claim. And it's like, all right, you, like whoever, like some kind of central command post kind of thing. They respond back, all right, you are set for, like your claim is in, you're set for like the left cheek, and like it's just weird. So it's like this big knife, but it's an autopsy shit, and it's like, it's kind of weird, it's kind of cool. It's a gorgeous looking book. Seriously, I recommend it. and I'm like, all right, you know what? This is gonna be an interesting story. So now the second issue picks up. They're after the end of the first issue. I don't want to talk about it too much, but they're kind of setting up for some risky stuff. So the second issue is kind of going into that, and then they end up getting pursued by somebody I don't really know, but I will be reading this one, and hopefully we'll be dropping a review on that. So that is We Only Find Them When They're Dead, #2, Boom Studios. Definitely go check that out. Again, I always talk about Boom Studios because they always have just a bunch of cool, like, just wildly like imaginative books out there. So definitely recommend going and check that out. And then we jump over to Artists, Writers, and Artisans. This is AWA, is a publisher that I've only kind of seen kind of randomly when I think I just saw something AWA. I was like, what the hell is that? But this title here is new debut title of a 5-issue miniseries. It's called American Ronin. Now this one I actually think I saw earlier this week. I was just looking through Diamond stuff, and I just like the Ronin kind of caught me. If you like, kind of caught my eye. If you don't know what Ronin is, it's just a word for masterless samurai. There was the 47 Ronin, which is just this age-old tale out of Japan, and there was a movie Ronin from like 95 with Robert De Niro. That was cool. And then I think, did Keanu Reeves have a movie called that was something Ronin? I think it was something Ronin. It was something with samurai. I think it was Ronin too. But this one is like about spies and just this modern era. So I was like, oh, you know, I completely forgot about it after I saw it, like either earlier this week or last week. But I'm like, and you all know, if you followed me for a while, you know I love some spy stories, and I'm always looking for more spy comics. So American Ronin #1 from AWA, which is, again, stands for Artists, Writers, and Artisans. I'm definitely gonna pick this up. If I don't find it, I'm probably going to another shop later this weekend. So if I don't find it then, I just end up ordering from mycomicshop.com. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And now we get into the last segment, the books I picked up, which is only really one book, and then I'll show off these, but I just picked these up just for the hell of it. Just the Marvel previews, because just random stuff. So this is for, where are we at? April? Oh, this is for earlier this year, but I just grabbed it anyway. We got Nonstop Spider-Man #1, which is Joe Kelly, Chris Bacalo, which should be out in January. And then on the other side, we got Empire #4. So that's already over, but I just wanted to grab it anyway. And then this is for September for November. So we got Eternals and Venom #30. Both are really hot right now for a lot of people. I mean, I don't care about that much either. Now, the only book I picked up this week, because I have most other stuff coming in pre-orders, which will be, again, arriving next week sometime. But here's one. Here is Black Widow #2. So this is actually the first Alex Ross timeless variant that I have. I do have a bunch of the others on pre-order already. The only other ones, this is one I missed because somehow I missed Black Widow #2. And I still kind of want the standard cover, which is Adam Hughes cover. But then the other one is Thor #8. So I was like, all right, I gotta get that one, because I didn't pre-order that one because I think I'd already missed them. So those must have been the first 2 timeless variants that, well, actually no, because there were some last week. So I don't know how I missed Black Widow though. I don't know. I just completely missed that. But I didn't do Thor because I didn't care about Thor at the time. So I just completely missed that one. So I have to pick that one up. But there's a whole bunch of other ones out there. Like, you could do a video dedicated strictly to Alex Ross's timeless variants because they look absolutely dope. If you don't know, these are all the images of the recent mural that he put up in Marvel's offices. So these are just all the characters. There's a variant featuring every character from the mural, from the X-Men, the Avengers, the Inhumans, and who else is on there? Just a whole bunch of like Defenders, Fantastic Four, a whole bunch of those. You can see a whole bunch of those in my my comic shop order next week, because I just went all, and I got pretty much all, I think, except for I think the Inhumans ones. I just like, I don't know, I didn't really do it, but I kind of want them all just to have a complete set of all the timeless variants. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up for New Comic Day, the first one for October, New Comic Day Blast. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of indie news. Let me know what you thought of all that stuff. The recommendations, what are you looking forward to this week? What'd you pick up so far? Any cool reads? Are you interested in checking out any new titles? Maybe something that struck your eye this week that you hadn't been reading before. Never be afraid to jump right in, try a new title, just dive right in. Middle of a run, beginning of a series, who cares? Go for it. So that's that. Happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. This is GENOTHADRAGON. Thanks for watching, and peace out.